We have a quorum.
Okay. Then it being 10:02, or at least according to my computer, call the meeting to order. And the first item is the minutes of the previous meeting. Does anybody have any comments? I've got a couple. Okay. Then I'll just mention in the CPA designation for myself, I was just going to say I'm no longer a licensed CPA. I guess technically I'm still a CPA because I'm registered, and I understand that, so I don't know what the right answer this is, but I'm still a public member. Just in the explanation, there is also a almost unknown to anybody that I just found out, that I can actually transition to be status as a retired CPA, which means I don't have to fork over as much to the state of Connecticut, and I can call myself a CPA as long as I draw breath. No, what I don't know where that came from, but
John, I did the same thing with my architect license. They recently passed a law which allows emeritus status. So I can now, although I'm not licensed right now, I identify myself going forward as architect emeritus. And I could reinstate it if I choose to down the road, but at least I can use the title with that provision.
I'm not sure I'd ever have the nerve to call myself CPA emeritus, though.
Should we?
So I don't know. It just, I think I still have to be listed as public member. But
Yes.
just, it's somehow changed that wording as no longer a CPA. Since I do claim to be a CPA every now
Right.
and then when I'm boring people about my opinions of
Okay.
government finance, et cetera.
Can we just say no longer licensed as a CPA?
Right. No longer licensed.
No
Excellent.
longer licensed. Okay.
And the other on page 3 is just kind of picky. I can be something of a grammar and syntax snob. Under accreditation, could we just change he was not totally understanding of to does not fully understand?
Where was that, John, on page 3?
Oh, on page 3, right under the first paragraph under number 2, accreditation.
And you want to change that? Okay, say that again. I'm here.
Just from instead of because he was not totally understanding of it to because he does not fully understand it.
Okay.
Nothing technically. And since the meeting, oh, Carla just said, I can't find his, Carla can't find its Zoom invitation from you. I'll try to forward it as we're talking. And that's it. These minutes are so well done that I had to prove at some point that I actually read them before the meetings.
I appreciate that, John. Thank you.
Okay, does anybody else have any comments?
Nope.
No. We have a, let's see, comments or concerns? I don't believe we have anybody else on right now, do we?
No.
Okay.
I think, you know what, excuse me 1 minute, John, let me just check, okay?
Okay.
Oh, Daniel, okay, hang on 1 minute. Just brought him as a panelist, and we have Sharon Sweeney. I don't know, should promote her to talk or allow her to talk, okay?
Yeah, this is Sharon Sweeney Fee. I'm just listening in for Western Governors University, our accounting program, in case there's any changes we need to be aware of.
Oh. Okay.
Oh, welcome.
Hi, Sharon.
Welcome. We have a pretty
Hi
light
there.
agenda. We have a pretty light agenda today, but okay, Bob, I just forwarded that email to Carla.
Thank you.
Just one thing that I might suggest, there is a, what am I thinking of here? There's sort of a historical reason for the, that we have the comments and concerns so early, and then again at the end. That seems to have gone away, and perhaps we could consider moving that first opportunity for comments and concerns later in the agenda. Say in the middle in the future, so that I can't quite remember what it was, but it had something to do with personalities.
I know a while back, I got a directive, we got a directive from our director, Mr. Richard Hurlbert. I'll go back and check with him, John, why that was originally put in.
Okay, well, yeah, hi Carla, glad you could join.
Sorry
Um,
about that.
Yeah, I could probably remember it, Bob, but I'm just saying some of the names.
No problem.
But I think
Yeah.
it might be a little more, we elected to keep it anyway, just because input from the, there was very often good input from like the Connecticut Society that we could use before we were basically wrapping up and we were in the middle of our agenda. Okay. Old business, legislative update.
I
Okay.
guess that I have something that, yes, we, after the, I guess one reason we have a light agenda is because we just had the special meeting and covered some meaty topics at that one. And one of them was legislation and the recent change that if it stands would change the CPE year from July to June. It would change it to October to September. The board, for various reasons, felt and voted that it should go back to the July to June time. So and between then and now, and one reason we needed to have the special meeting when it was the DCP was looking for legislation for the upcoming session by the end of August. So we did, Ms. Arsenault and I did send to our superior, our legal director, and also to the, well, anyway, she wanted it. So it's at that point now that we were looking to add chapter 389, which is the accountancy chapter, to the list of exceptions in section 21A-10C, which is the statute that basically changes the continuing education year for every credential that has such a year that that the DCP gives out to the to 3 months to ending, whatever it is, to starting and ending 3 months before the renewal date, and which is what would change it for accountants. So we have supported. We have submitted that legislation, have not heard one way or the other, what the plans internally are there. I was hoping that, and I also, right after our meeting, did inform we have a small legislative group that looks at the legislation, which includes our legislative liaison, Leslie O'Brien, our legal director, Julianne Avalone, Jerry Padula, who we've worked with on some other issues on regulations. And I told them that what the board had decided to do, and I didn't hear back either way at all. I wasn't sure, if I thought I might hear something from Leslie, did not. So anyway, so they're aware of it. We've submitted the legislation, and I said I was hoping that someone from that Bonnie Stewart might be here, because she said she was going to speak with Leslie and wanted to see if that conversation had taken place. And I've not heard from either Leslie or from Bonnie if it has, so I was hoping to find out. But anyway, so we are going forward with that, trying to change the year back to what it has been for quite a while. And again, as we discussed at the special meeting, we are for the purposes of people who are renewing for the 2022 calendar year, they're still on the old, so to speak, CPE year. And of course, the board has extended that, had a blanket extension until the end of July. Plus, as we see today, we have a number of further requests for exemptions. But anyway, so we're on the same schedule right now. The change would be for the 2023 renewal, but we're hoping to get that change back next, during the legislative session next spring, so that there's no change at all going in this.
Thank you. And if you do hear anything before the next meeting, if you wouldn't mind emailing it out, appreciate it.
Sure. I will make a note of that.
Is that it for the legislative update?
It is from us. That's the only, because as far as we're aware, we just made some changes in the last session that we got through, and we couldn't remember if there was anything else, and we went through the statutes and nothing jumped out at us that needed to be changed. So that's the only thing that we've submitted for accountancy.
Okay, moving on then to new business. First item is response to NASBA regarding the draft exam for CPA evolution. I'll start off on that. I did respond to the survey. It was the survey was intended to, I'm not sure how helpful I was, because after going through the materials, I thought that the relevant committees had done an outstanding job on this, and I could not add to it. I did not comment on the tax and the consulting section, because I didn't feel that I had the professional experience. I was never in tax and always exclusively in audit for all 40 plus years. So I don't know whether anybody else responded to that survey or not. Yes,
John,
Dan.
I did.
Good,
John,
we
I went
have-
ahead and responded. Yes, I did. I went ahead and responded, and then obviously answered the tax portion of questions as well. So
Good.
Mhm.
And the only question I was ending up with was, would I be able to pass the exam, the new exam?
I
have
wondered that too.
I have my doubts.
With the questions they were asking, I wondered the same thing.
Okay. Then are there any further comments or? Moving on, item 2, attendee for NASBA annual meeting. I don't know whether everybody got the email, but NASBA has decided to go fully virtual instead of in person with virtual for this year because of COVID. So that it's something of a at least physical attendance is a moot point. I will be attending online, and any and all board members are encouraged to, if not attend the whole thing, because it's a pretty long slog to spend on time, but go through the agenda and see where it would be appropriate to tune in and participate. And that's it, I believe, for number 2.
Yeah, I put it on. We put it on the agenda because at the time it was still, we hadn't
It's still
did not
up,
get that
yeah.
email, and then of course I think it may have been the next day or the day after that came out. So yeah, it's unfortunate, but it sounds like they said they want to still try for San Diego next year, and it was So yeah, it was interesting though, because they said that obviously COVID is peaking again nationally, but also apparently in that particular area as well.
Yeah, my middle daughter lives in the San Francisco Bay Area, and California's a pretty long state, and when the vaccines first came out, she had real difficulty at first getting an appointment. But if she'd lived in Southern California, could have walked in anytime, anywhere virtually. There is a very big differential in vaccination rates between Northern and Southern California for some reason. Okay, moving on. Number 3, exam extension / waiver requests.
Yes, we have the first is from Natalie Olmsted. We did get one, just a single request came in after the agenda went out, so which will be the next one. So, but I think we'll start with Natalie Olmsted, who's looking to extend her BEC, which was initially taken in January of 2020. So that would have expired in end of June, or maybe, yeah, June, well, just July, right? Because it goes to of 2021. And her intended completion date is May of 2022, and it's for a medical reason. And she writes, November 2019. This is her. She said, my name is Natalie Olmsted. I'm currently a CPA candidate in the state of Connecticut. I've been diligently working toward completing the CPA exams since November 2019. I am requesting a credit extension of 6 months on my first past exam that is set to expire 12/31/21. Okay. The reason that I would like to extend the credit for this exam is due to medical related interruptions. I've created a timeline of my studies and interruptions below. November 2019, began studying for BEC. January 2022, took BEC and passed. March 2020, took audit and failed. March to July 2020, began studying for regulations, scheduled the exam, which was then canceled several times due to the COVID shutdowns and the closing of the Prometric test centers. September 2020, began working full-time as an audit associate at PricewaterhouseCoopers. Immediately was assigned on a client with an October busy season and other projects that resulted in working busy season hours until February 2021. Then November 2020, she had a healthcare issue, which she did provide evidence that it happened of that. This is November 2020. February 2021, so 3 months later, began studying again for the audit. March 2021, had an additional separate healthcare issue. Again, she provided evidence for that, which delayed my progress on studying for audit due to the symptoms related with that. April 2021 to May 2021, resumed studying for audit. In June, sat for audit and failed. In July 2021, sat for audit and passed. August 2021, sat for the FAR and failed, currently studying for a retake at the beginning of September 2021, which would be now. In between the start of my studies in November 2019 and starting a full-time at PwC in September of 2020, I worked as a pharmacy tech at CVS and faced challenges due to the fear and unpredictability of the pandemic. I took on an increasing number of hours at the pharmacy, which further impeded my progress on the exams in combination with the testing center closures. The COVID-19 pandemic has had a significant impact on everyone's lives. I can confidently say that without the challenges and setbacks faced due to the pandemic and other medical interruptions, I would have been able to successfully sit for all 4 exams prior to starting at PwC. However, testing center closures, increased stress as a pharmacy tech, working busy season from October 2020 to February 2021, the 2 healthcare issues, the symptoms and the related symptoms have greatly impacted my study efforts. Therefore, I hope that you will consider granting me a 6-month extension of my BEC as a result of these obstacles.
Can I ask a question?
Yes.
I realize you can't share with us on a forum like this medical details, but do you have the total amount of time one, I am assuming this was a serious medical issue, that it was not unnamed in the
No,
correspondence.
they were both named. They were,
Okay, that's fine.
they were separate, but yeah.
But the total amount of time that was involved in the actual medical issues, knocked out.
Let's see here. I don't have that. I mean, one involved, I guess I can say, hopefully say one involved surgery. And
Mhm.
the other had just symptoms that were lasting. And I don't have the specific timeline there though.
Do we also, one follow-on related question, do we know whether she continued functioning and working with PW during the times that she's had these medical issues and was trying to deal with both, or was she just out because of the medical issue?
No, it's a good point. She did not say if she kept working or not.
I would like to know, I don't understand about working at CVS and also Price Waterhouse. Was she doing both simultaneously, or what was?
No. She said in between the start of my studies and starting full time at PwC, I worked as a pharmacy tech. So that was from November 2019 to September 2020.
Okay.
So during the first, which would coincide with, obviously through the initial time that the pandemic hit.
Seems to me that she's basing us mostly on being busy and not as much on the medical issue.
That's why I was looking for the total amount of time. If it's, well, gee, I was working at PwC, that's one thing. If you're out, if she's got a cumulative out for like 6 months for various medical reasons, I'd say it was pretty easy to grant. If it's a small amount of time or relatively small amount of time, and we're talking about, gee, my work schedule is busy, then it's a different story.
Remind me, because of the Prometric centers being closed with COVID, weren't there extensions we had granted?
Yes.
So that's kind of contemplated already by the board, that issue, if you will, as well.
That's an interesting question, Tim, because it's strange. Since I forwarded my Zoom invitation to Carla, every time I speak, it comes up as Carla and vice versa.
Thank you.
Yeah, that's a good question, because I could see a situation where we extended times, but it wouldn't have affected her timeline. And yet she was knocked out of X amount of months because of the unavailability of Prometrics. I think that's the case you're considering.
Frank, what is she asking? How long an extension is she asking for?
6 months. So she's looking to have it. Where is this?
Would be June 30.
Yes. Intended completion date 6/30/2022.
Hmm.
Wait. That's the next person. I apologize. No, 5/2022, May 2022.
So she has one left to do, and it expires in November.
I don't know. Does she? Because it looks like she just passed 2 of them, right?
Yeah, she's hoping to pass a third in, was it this month or early next month?
Yes, yeah, early this month.
Why would she need an extension until May of 2022?
Yeah.
Because she's got to get the 4th by November, the 3rd and 4th by November.
Right. But if she gets the 3rd by November, why does she need essentially 6 months from them to get the fourth. In other words, could a smaller extension suffice under the circumstances?
Do we want to just go back to her and ask how long she was out for the medical issues and if she was out of work?
I think that's a good follow-up.
Yeah, let's see. Our next meeting is November 9th, so when does she expire now? December?
That's what yes, that's what she said. Although I'm a little confused because she said she originally took the exam in January of 2020. So that, I mean, so it would have, to me, that looks like it would have expired in, what, I guess, June or July, just July of 2021, but
But wasn't that one that she'd failed at the time and then passed at a later time? And the clock would start then?
oh, is that what? Okay, and I wish she'd put that in for the one because, yeah, maybe you paid better attention than I did here.
And maybe I screwed up.
No, because you said took 2020, took January 2020 on this timeline, took BEC and passed.
Oh, okay.
So so actually, I mean, I don't, unless she's taking into account that, but the thing is, in any extension.
No, as auditing, she failed the first time and then passed. So.
Correct. But she's looking. Yeah, I keep confusing myself. I got to stop looking at the next person's thing.
You're on mute, Frank. Frank, if you were
Yes.
talking to us, you were on mute.
Yeah, I noticed I pushed the mute button without noticing it. What was the last thing you heard me say?
But you've got to stop looking at the other person's stuff.
Okay, yeah. I mean, I'm trying to figure out her math because she, again, if she took the exam in January of 2020, then it would have expired in July of 2021. Somehow she has it in her head that it expires the end of this December, and I don't, so I don't understand. I don't, unless, yeah, I just don't. So I because the 18 months is July, it's not December, obviously.
What about the extensions?
But those are just extensions, right? Then you don't then start counting the 18 months again.
Correct.
That's another thing I did say when I was muted. Right.
I make a motion that we table this for more information.
This is Dan.
We have
I
a
second
motion.
that motion.
Okay. We have a motion and a second that we table this for more information till the November meeting.
And
Any
may I
comments?
and that's, may I just, before the discussion, just let me know exactly what questions you would like to have asked for that information.
Who seconded the motion?
Dan,
I did.
Dan? Okay, thank you.
I think we want to know, was she out of work for the medical issues, and how long was the duration, and just get the timeline figured out a little bit.
Okay. In other words, when the BEC expired?
Yes.
Okay.
A modified motion on the table then, and I don't know whether it requires a second, Dan, but Daniel, can we get
I'll
a,
second, I'll second it.
okay?
Mhm.
Have an amend. Sorry about that. We have a second motion on the table, so, or have a motion on the table, and any further comments? And if not, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? The motion carries. Okay. Did you say that we had another exam extension?
Yes, we did. It just came in, I don't know, well, actually, just last week. It's from Cynthia Calderon. And so it would require a 2/3 vote of the board to consider it.
Make a motion to add it to the agenda.
I'll second
Yes.
it, Pete.
Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Any
Aye.
opposed?
Aye.
The motion carries.
And this is, thank you. This is for Cynthia Calderon. She is looking to extend her regulations portion that she took on 12/31. That doesn't sound right. It must be expired 12/31/21. Sorry for not being more prepared. I thought I should look at this better.
We haven't actually got to 12/31/21 yet.
And exactly. It jumps right out at me. She's looking for the extension. Ms. Arsenault, you were in contact with her back and forth. What was the what was the timeline on this? Says, I believe I passed regulations in December 2019. In October 2021, NASBA approved me testing in a separate room. I apologize. My credit expires. Okay, it expires on 12/31/21. Okay. Although,
Okay, if you haven't seen it, Frank, Kat responded by chat that for some reason she can't access her speaker to unmute.
okay, but it looks okay. So it was written here 12/31/21. We're changing this request to make it clearer to us and to them what we're looking for. It expires 12/31/21. So she's looking for a 6-month extension to June 30th, 2022. And for medical reasons and good cause. Okay, and she writes, my name is Cynthia Calderon. I am a tax senior accountant at a national public accounting firm. I've been sitting for the CPA exam for the past 6 years. I am writing you because I would like to request an extension of credit for my regulation exam. Previously, I've passed regulation and auditing and attestation exams. I am currently working on passing the last 2 parts. My father, Joselito Calderon, was brutally murdered on July 11th, 2021 at work, and this was in newspapers that she provided. I was very close to my father, and his tragic death has greatly affected me. My father was very proud of me. She provided the evidence of that. He was someone sounded like he was very involved in the community, and Bridgeport had a taught Taekwondo, and actually was so good and such a master that there's even a Taekwondo facility in Korea that's named after him. But he was working, I guess, as a bouncer at a bar, and ended up being shot and killed in July of this year. This is all in the newspapers that she provided. She said, my father was very proud of me and could not wait to celebrate me becoming a CPA. Since my father's passing, I've been suffering for something she's been getting care for, and have taken short-term disability from work. I am seeking help to deal with his death and to aid me in getting my life back on track. I am working with my success coach at Becker CPA Review to develop a study plan. My goal is to take business environment and concepts this December. I will study and sit for the financial accounting and reporting right after the 2022 tax filing season. I'm taking the steps necessary to heal and meet my goal of passing all 4 parts of the exam. If you approve my extension, it will go a long way and bring me closer to achieving my goal of passing the exam. I appreciate your consideration in this matter. She provided medical evidence as well.
Make a motion to approve.
I'll second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Are there any comments or questions? Discussion? Okay. Hearing none, all in favor, aye.
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 Any opposed? The motion carries. Okay, moving on to CPE extension waiver requests. Boy, we have a lot of those today. CPE.
Yes. Yes, in the first, but no additional ones. So that this is what you see is what, and actually one's been withdrawn. So we'll get to that one. First one is for Carrie Rubman. The extension is as looking, well, asked for both a waiver and an extension, but an extension but a waiver only of the additional fee, which if the extension is covered, that would cover it. Extension is a result of inability to complete by, and is looking for an extension to September 30th, 2021 for good cause. And writes, due to COVID-related restrictions and conference cancellations where I normally obtain CPE credits and also loss of staff in my office, I'm requesting an extension and waiver of the late fee to complete my 40-hour requirement. I've completed 26 hours to date. The date that was as of July 30th. I will complete the balance by September 30th, 2021. And remember, for all of these, there is a blanket extension to July 31st. Anyway, so this is in 1 month now. And we asked for additional documentation of the conference cancellations and other information. We did not receive it.
I'll make a motion to deny and we can reconsider if you receive it.
I'll second that motion.
Okay. We've got a motion and a second, and we could also word that as except contingent upon receiving that. It's just, okay, I don't see any support for that, so. Any other further comments or? Okay, hearing none, all in favor of the motion? Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? The motion carries.
Okay, and the next one is George Clark, looking for an extension to August 31st, 2021 for medical reasons. Let's see. I've been in constant communication. Let's see. We did ask for additional information. Said I've been in constant communication with my PCP, my primary care physician, but she's only been a part of this journey without getting into the details of the history of the various hospitalizations and specialists. Should be indicative of out of the ordinary. But I don't see we actually received anything yet. So again, there was back and forth after requesting more information, but I don't see that we did get something.
Make the same motion as last time that we deny, but we would consider it when you get the information you requested.
I'll second that motion.
Just a question of format. Should these be formal denials or should they be table them for additional information?
I would recommend a formal denial, and if they bring in additional information, we'll consider that another request, a separate request, and just put it on the next agenda. Otherwise, you'll have to
Okay.
vote formally
Oh, yeah.
deny these
Okay,
when we get the next time.
and Kat just texted that we did not get anything for documentation, so I guess that kind of solves that issue. Okay, we have any further discussion? Okay, we have a motion and a second. All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries.
Okay, the next one is John Arello, and he is, well, clearly he's paying attention, because in his extension request, he changed the June 30th to July. But then he's looking for completion date of August 31st, 2021 for good cause and medical. And he says, due to reasons beyond my control, I am requesting additional time to complete my 40-hour requirement for the fiscal year ended June 30th, 2021. Well, and then he puts in parentheses, July 31st, 2021. Main reasons are as follows. My wife and daughter had the same medical issue, but thankfully they've survived. I am the caregiver for my mom, who is 88 years old. Mom at present is recovering from her own medical issue. And he himself has had a medical issue that he did submit evidence for that. That is, there was even negligence the first time that he's claiming in the care, and is had to have it done a second time, and it was by someone else more competently. And says, I was affected financially by COVID, am still recovering. And he actually submitted his 1099 NEC to show what he brought in from his accounting work for last year. And he did not provide evidence of the mother or of the wife and daughter, but he did of himself.
I'll make a motion to approve.
Do we have a second?
This is Pete. I'll second it.
Oh, fuck.
Okay. Any discussion? Okay, hearing none. So all in favor, signify by aye.
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 Any opposed? Motion carries.
Okay, thank you. The next is from John Christensen, and he is looking for an extension to also August 31st, 2021 for good cause. And he writes, well, okay. He says, unfortunately for me, I've had a bad turn of events in the month of July, which were unforeseen. His wife had a medical issue, but he did not provide evidence of that. But she had an injured in an accident. We had to take time to see a specialist, and she needed help in the basic activities and could not help with the family needs, kids, etc. And to make matters worse, my father, Richard Christensen, entered ICU last Tuesday and passed away on Saturday, July 24th, 2021. He did provide evidence of that, his obituary and maybe even the death certificate. But anyway, we do have the obituary. His obituary is listed on the Beecher Funeral website, although he provided for us as well. Between running my 10+ person firm and dealing with the above, I've been very busy and under extreme pressure. I had to reallocate the time I had scheduled for CPE. I have started to take some classes and have a small credit from last year, although not possible to complete by July 31st. It would stretch me thin and cause unnecessary, although not impossible, to complete the requirements by July 31st. It would stretch me thin and cause unnecessary mental anguish in my time of grieving.
I'll make a motion to approve.
Second, Carla.
Any discussion? Shh. Sorry, that's the 20-month-old.
Is that her second?
Did you second the motion, Rose? Okay.
When are we extending to?
August 31st,
Okay, it's just a 1 month.
correct.
Okay,
Okay.
all in favor, aye?
Aye.
Any opposed? The motion carries.
Okay. The next is John Zapralka, and he is looking for an extension to September 30th, 2021 for medical reasons. And he writes, I'm writing a request for an additional extension of time to complete my credit hours for the June 30th, or as we know now, July 31st, 2021, due to medical reasons. In May 2020, and this is relevant, I developed medical condition that required immediate surgery and months of recovery. During my time, my firm on my behalf requested an extension for that. I think he actually was in, I think it went through last year. I was in Yale Hospital and recovering at home for months after. Unfortunately, the initial surgery had complications and I had to go back for another one at Yale in November 2020. He did provide evidence of this. The surgery did not go as planned and I was in the hospital for 3 months and home rehabbing for a couple of months after that. Again, he has provided that evidence. I am now returning to work, and this was dated July 29th, on a part-time basis, fulfilling my duties as required, one of these being my CPE requirement. And let's see, for the June, anyway, so he's actually a request until September 30th for medical reasons.
Make a motion to approve.
This is Danny. I'll second that motion.
Okay, if no comments, all in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries.
Okay. And the next one is John Caruso. His request was withdrawn, so do not have to consider that one. So go to Joseph Legg, and he is looking for an extension to September 30th, 2021 for both medical and good cause. And he wrote, due to health issues, due to COVID-19, I'm requesting CPE requirements be extended for 60 days. Again, this is another one. We asked for additional information and did not receive any.
I'll make a motion to deny and we'll reconsider if the information is received.
I'll second that motion. This is Danny.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Any comments? Discussion? Hearing none. All in favor, aye.
Aye.
And none opposed, the motion carries. And the next, and I believe final one.
Correct. Robert Kornhaas Jr. He's looking for an extension to September 30th, 2021 for good cause. And he wrote, reason for is my partner, Joseph A. Fiorita Jr. passed away unexpectedly on June 7th, 2021. I've been inundated with work and have not had a moment to finish my CPE courses. I've completed 29 credits and am in the process of completing the remaining 11. Thank you for your consideration in this matter. And he submitted the obituary of Joseph A. Fiorita Jr., who did pass away June 7th, 2021.
I'll make a motion to approve.
Second, Carla.
Any comments? Discussion? Hearing none. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, that leaves us at the end. We don't have anybody that's on that can present any comments or concerns. So I will entertain a motion to adjourn.
I'll make that motion. Tim?
Second? Anyone?
This is
Danny, I will second.
Okay, and no discussion allowed on that motion. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
And the motion carries. Huh,
Bye.
All right, thank you.
Have
All right.
a,
Thank you, Kat, for helping, and Bob as well.
have a
Yeah,
good
thank
and healthy
Thank you.
fall here.
Yes, absolutely.
care,
See
guys.
you in November.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye, everyone.
Bye. Bye, everybody.